What are you doing? That is Proverbs chapter 31, verse 2. What are you doing, my son? And the mom of King Lemuel is going to give us some instructions, and that's what we're looking at today. Welcome back to Brighter Rays. Yep, we're in day 3 of looking at this passage here. And now we're going to move on. We're going to be looking at, starting at verse 3, do not give your strength to women, your ways to those who destroy kings. We're going to be looking at that. And we're going to also be looking at the idea of drunkenness here, where she talks about it is not for kings to drink wine or to drink strong drink. And so those are the two things that she warns him against here. These are the warnings against immorality and warnings against drunkenness. Two things that young men need to listen to. So first she puts out, watch yourself with women, right? Watch yourself with these women. You're growing older, you're a king, you got to watch out, because there are women that will seek to destroy you. The commentator Matthew Henry put it this way. He said, he must not be soft and effeminate. That's the idea of giving his strength, right, to women. Nor spend that time in a vain conversation with ladies, which should be spent in getting in knowledge and dispatching business. Nor employ that wit, which is the strength of the soul, in courting and complimenting them, which he should employ about the affairs of his government. So there's that idea of like, don't give your strength to women, as in don't pretend to be a woman. Don't be effeminate. Like that's a sin, that's evil. Nor spend time in vain conversation with ladies. Don't be just talking it up with ladies. Don't be a smooth talker. Don't spend all your time, because you're king. You got to run the country. You should be spending all your time just talking with ladies. So don't give your strength to the ladies. And also, don't employ all your strength and all your work in courting women and complimenting them all the time, which you should be using. You should be using that mind and that strength to doing your job, right? Running the government, running the country. So we see the special warning about how evil women can destroy kings. That's what she's saying. These evil women could destroy you. They could lead you astray. They could bring you down. This was actually the downfall of Solomon, who did not heed this king's advice, or whether it was his own advice, he didn't follow it. 1 Kings 11 is where we find God vowing to rip the kingdom from him because he did not keep the covenant and statutes of the Lord. And why didn't he do that? It's because of the women that drew his heart away from the Lord. And so that messed him up. That destroyed him. So this warning here is don't get involved in these ladies. Don't get into sexual immorality with them. Do not, as Matthew Henry pointed out, like don't even entertain these conversations. Don't get involved with these ladies, because they're seeking to destroy you. They will destroy your kingdom if you go with them. So don't give your strength to these women. That's what he says. Do not give your strength to the women, your ways to those who destroy kings. Don't give that to them. You keep that for yourself. Use your power, your strength, to do what you're supposed to do. It's not to, be flirting around with all these other women. Do what you need to do, son. Don't be playing games. So, that's a good advice from a mom, right? Hey, keep it to yourself. Do what you need to do. If you find that one woman, which she's going to talk about, if the rest of Proverbs 31 is from King Lemuel's mother, which is pretty cool how it's connected there, but it makes sense to have it there instead of somewhere else where some of the other Bibles have it in a different place. But it makes sense to have it here, because it makes sense that this would be like an explanation of what woman you should look for. What wife should you look for, not these evil women who are going to destroy your kingdom, right? Or destroy you. So that's good advice. Now the next thing in 4 through 7, verses 4 through 7, it talks about wine, drinking, strong drinks. Not just wine, but also something heavier. So the mom's advice here is to watch yourself around alcohol. Be careful around the drinks. Why? Because the first thing is there could be indecency that comes from drinking, right? The world finds drunkenness funny and entertaining. That's what they do. Paul says that drunkards will not inherit the kingdom of God. 1 Corinthians 6:10. So how much more should a king or ruler avoid drunkenness, since his responsibilities are so great? To whom much is given, much is required, right? So if you're a king, it doesn't make any sense. Why are you getting drunk? Why even drink it? Why tempt yourself to do that? Because your position that you have been given to, or given by God to do, is so important, is so consuming, that you don't have time for this. You cannot have a moment where you have this lapse of judgment because you get drunk. And that's the next thing. There's consequences from drinking. So Lemuel's mother gives 2 reasons why he should not be getting drunk as a ruler, right? Why he shouldn't get drunk. You know, he can't get wasted as a king. 1, he forgets what has been decreed. So he's going to forget the law himself. And so he's going to mess it up because, you know, like there's precedent, there's laws that he needs to keep himself and proceed under the law. And so if he doesn't know what the law is because he's wasted, there's a problem there, because now you're going to violate the law. You're going to go against the law, and you will sin against God and people. And now you're going to, you know, possibly destroy your kingdom again because you got drunk and you did something stupid. So that's not a good option, right? And then number 2 is that he perverts the rights of the afflicted. Because of his inebriation, he might break the law or judge incorrectly those that he's supposed to be watching over, thus making himself a useless ruler in the eyes of the people and the eyes of the Lord too. We could point to examples like King Elah of Judah, who was assassinated by his servant while he was getting drunk. Right? There you go. Good job, dude. You got wasted, and then your own servant came in and killed you because you were drunk. Not a good idea. Ben-Hadad of King of Syria, who was getting drunk with 32 other kings when Ahab came and attacked them. King Ahab, you got attacked by King Ahab, which you know, is not the epitome of a God follower. 32 other kings, and he came in just because they had gotten drunk. So you see, there's an example. Or remember King Belshazzar, right? Daniel's time. He's partying all night, doing stupid stuff, and ignored the writing on the wall. And he died because he was drunk and having parties, and he got, you know, inebriated, and there you go. He lost his kingdom. He actually lost his life that night. And he was told that was going to happen. Maybe if it wasn't so wasted, he would have been like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe there's something behind this. But again, he was too drunk. So there's a problem with drunkenness, and especially as a king getting drunk, there's a huge problem because you have the law to uphold. You have people that are relying upon you, that are concerned about, you know, the direction of the country. And so you have this responsibility. You've been given a huge responsibility as king, and so now you have to act that way. You have to behave in a way that a king should. And so getting drunk is not appropriate. But there is a right use of alcohol, which he mentions here, which is interesting. Some people would like to X this out and say, or they would just relegate it to the Old Testament, like, well, that's Old Testament. But, you know, again, this is wisdom of God. His wisdom doesn't change. And so it says here, give strong drink to those who is perishing, and wine to those in bitter distress. Let them drink, forget their poverty, and remember their misery no more. So Lemuel's mom is not a teetotaler, though, right? She's not saying, well, no one can drink anything. No, alcohol is completely forbidden for everybody. If you touch it, you're a sinner. She doesn't say that, right? The warning against drunkenness is prevalent in Scripture, and for some, like kings, abstinence is good for a higher purpose. But it's not a strict ban, right? You don't see anywhere where, like, you cannot touch alcohol. Do not even let it go through your lips. It doesn't say that anywhere. There is the ban on drunkenness, like you cannot get inebriated with it. So if you're losing your ability to think, if you're clouded, if you are, especially if you don't even know what you're doing, you're that drunk, then you're in sin, because you're supposed to keep self-control. You're supposed to be sober-minded. If you can't do that because you're so drunk, then you're in sin. But there's no ban on. So, because here she says, give wine to the people. Who are you supposed to give it to? I mean, if you think about it, after all, the Lord drank an alcoholic beverage, right? He did. No matter what you say, it wasn't grape juice. It's alcoholic. Because that was what you did. So we can't get so crazy that we're trying to like, oh, he never drank alcohol. He would never do that. Well, he did. And there's nothing wrong with that. Actually, the Bible says that it's okay. It's good, but but the mother here is recommending that her son doesn't drink because you're a king. You got to be careful with that. Jesus could drink without any problems because he's not a sinner. The kings here that she's talking to, yeah, he's a sinner. So there's temptation, there's giving into temptation. Jesus, never. He would know, like, okay, I can only drink this much of this wine. Otherwise, why did he make wine? To get other people drunk? That doesn't make any sense. So here the mother gives two permissible, even recommended, she's saying give this to them, uses for wine. It says, give it to those who are perishing and those in bitter distress. Which are, those who are perishing are in bitter distress too. But there are several mentions in the Bible of how alcohol gladdens the heart and lifts the spirit. There's a couple of those in there. The Jews from this passage would also make a practice of giving a cup of wine to mourners, those who have lost one, So even today, you would get a cup of wine. You would drink it because it gladdens the heart. It makes you happy. It gives you that good feeling. Wine does that. Now, it doesn't mean you're drunk, that you're just completely wasted, but there is a good feeling that comes from it before you get drunk. So that's what it's talking about. There's a point where you lose, the drunkenness it's talking about is where you lose control. And that's, you won't know what the laws are anymore because you're too wasted. But the idea is that it does gladden the heart. It makes you happy. And that's fine. And the Bible doesn't say that's wrong. That's what it's for. So here the people are in bitter distress. Give them some wine. If they're mourning, it says, so that they can, have that moment of like, I'm going to forget that I am in this place and be happy. And so that's what the Jews would do. They would give it to those who have lost a loved one. So you get a cup of wine to kind of make you happy. Or the criminals at their execution, they would give a cup of wine. They use this passage as a reason why to do that. So you see, even at the time of Christ, when he's dying, what do? They give him a strong drink, right? Here, take this, And it's not what was a bad thing. It was something that would help, it would help because you're drinking this strong drink. So it's like, someone who in the Civil War, we're going to, give them some whiskey here as we cut off their leg, It's to help them. It's not to make them drunk per se, but it's just to kind of take the edge off the pain. To ease them. It's kind of like, a pain reliever. So that's the idea there. Those who are executed, those who are being crucified, they would give them some a strong drink to drink. And so they'd get some alcohol as they're on there. Now, whether, that would make them feel better when you're being executed. So, but it's the idea there. You give them something, you don't have to be cruel and evil as you're executing them, where even if it's a valid execution, you still don't have to do it you don't have to be evil. You don't pay evil for evil. So you're exacting justice, you can still be good to them. So that's the idea. Give them some wine then, help them out. Don't be so evil and so mean that you won't even help out your enemies as you execute them. Give them that drink. Be kind as you execute justice. So that's the idea. All right, so that's the end of our study for today. Come back next time. We'll continue on looking at this as we finish up next time.